Good evening and welcome to the last semi-final of the Krypton Factor. Our contestants tonight are the winners of the last 4 heats, and tonight 2 of them will win through to next week's Krypton Factor final, where they will join Andrew Cox from London and Harry Evans from Guildford. So let's straight away start to build their Krypton Factors and go straight into the intelligence section. And tonight we're examining our contestants' perception, how they process information fed to them in the usual complex way. In a few minutes they're going to see a series of pairs of patterns. Most of those pairs will be identical, but 8 pairs will be slightly different. We want them to spot the 8 pairs that are not quite the same. So contestants, let me explain to you that each set of pairs is identified by a letter of the alphabet. For instance, if you see a pair like this, lettered A, then you will see that they are identical and you can dismiss those from your mind. But if you see a pair like this, lettered Z, then they are not quite the same and you should feed the letter Z into your consoles. We should finish up with 8 letters of the alphabet. So would you now put on your headsets, which will keep out any distracting sound from the studio here so that you can concentrate fully on what you're doing. Would you now turn to face your screen very quickly, because coming up now is the test. And that's the end of the test, and the answers that our contestants gave are now being computed, and while we await the outcome of that, let me give you the correct answers, the 8 pairs that were slightly different. And first one was D, where the right-hand picture was in fact upside down. Then caption G, where one of the oval shapes is pointed. Next, J, which has a ring missing. Next, L, which is a mirror image, the points face each other. Then P, where one of the shapes is in a different place. Next, R, where one of the arms comes from a different place. Then U, where the wall is much narrower. And finally, X, where there is an extra stem on 2 of the trees. So the answer that we were looking for from our contestants was D, G, J, L, P, R, U, X. So let us now see how our contestants did. Let's look first to Barry Davis, and you got 3 right, the R, the G, the J, and the X. Next, Bill Ryan, you got 4 right, the D, P, R, and X. Charles Newstead, you also got 4 right, D, P, the R, and the U. And finally, Vincent Platt, you got 3 right, L, U, and X. So let's now put the scores into our scoreboard, and they're fairly simple. Bill Ryan and Charles Newstead both share top place with 10 points, and Barry Davis and Vincent Platt are in 3rd place equal with 4 points, so that at the end of the first round we have joint leaders with a maximum 10 points, Bill Ryan and Charles Newstead. On now to our physical ability test and our upgraded assault course. And by the way, this course is going to be made even more difficult for the final next week. And of course, last week the semi-finalists found that the new obstacles and the weather-affected course was very difficult indeed. Harry Evans won that in time of 1 minute 19 seconds. Let's see if any of tonight's contestants can better that. Puddles everywhere, the track very heavy, conditions no better than they were last week. But Captain Don Glynn of the Army, who helped design this course, said the conditions here are the ones you would face in any Army assault course and are a perfect test for our participants. And let's now see how they line up with the age handicap system in operation. The youngest man in the outside lane, lane 4, Charles Newstead, age 24, starting from scratch. In lane 3, Barry Davis, who's age 31, a 12-yard advantage. In lane 2, Bill Ryan, age 33, a 16-yard advantage. And lane 1, Vincent Platt, age 38, a 36-yard advantage. And don't forget the stagger is taken into account. Let's go over to the starter now. Captain Glynn.
Competitors, take your marks.
Straight into the double ramp. This is one of the new ones you saw last week. Quite a vicious one. You need to cross to the other side. If you go too low, it'll be hard to recover. And they're all off neck and neck with Charles Newstead slightly in the lead. Now it's Bill Ryan in the lead. And Bill Ryan, of course, won his heat in the earlier rounds. So he is the favourite for this. And he's beginning to open out a lead as he goes across the duckboard, followed by Vincent Platt. And onto this seesaw, another one of the new ones. There's water under that, so you don't fall off it. He goes splashing into the 10-foot water jump and on up onto the ramp. Vincent Platt is in behind him and having some problems, but still with second place. But Bill Ryan in the amber tracksuit goes through this nasty bit now. 2 layers as he goes over, but he clears that low pole, which is the difficult one, and goes into the maze. In second place, it's Vincent Platt. Third, it's Barry Davis, but still in the lead is Bill Ryan as he comes into this gate vault. And this track is really soggy, so the energy sapped as they come into the last 2 obstacles. He goes through the crawl now. He's got a very comfortable lead as he comes up to the swing across on the rope. If he's over that, he's won it comfortably, and he has. It's Bill Ryan coming home in first place. Going back now to the crawl for second place. It's Barry Davis who's coming through now in second place. And across the rope he goes. He gets across too. He'll come through in second place. But Charles Newstead has come adrift. Both of them have come adrift now on the ropes. They must go back and do it again until they get across. And Charles Newstead is the one who comes across in third place, which leaves Vincent Platt behind in fourth place. And the points break down there. Bill Ryan gets 10. Barry Davis in second place, 6 points. Charles Newstead, 4 points for third place. And Vincent Platt finishing last, 2 points. And let's put those points now into the scoreboard. After 2 sections then, we have Charles Newstead in second place with 14, but still the leader, Bill Ryan, or going out on his own now with 20 points. And we move on now to the personality section, and this is the place where the public decide the points. And our test this time for the contestants was to write a short, humorous speech as guest of honour for a prize-giving ceremony at somewhere totally unlikely, and they had just 1 chance at this. First to go then was Barry Davis, who was awarding prizes at the Ruritanian Intelligence Service.
Well, deciding who should get the award as the year's top recruit in the Ruritanian Intelligence Service has been difficult. We lost a few during submarine training, but they should have realised you're supposed to get inside before diving. The minesweeping also caused problems for some of the lads, but using a broom, what can you expect? And the parachute training. 1 young fellow broke both ankles jumping before the plane took off. So the award goes to Petrov Slack, who, alone in the dog handling section, remembered to let the dog go through the blazing hoop. Well done, Petrov.
Barry Davis at the Ruritanian Intelligence Service. Now Bill Ryan, who's giving the awards at the Useless Inventions Convention.
We have great pleasure in presenting the Groucho Marx Memorial Prize for Useless Inventions to Mr. Utter Nutter, whose efforts have bestowed upon mankind such dubious benefits as non-alcoholic whiskey, see-through clothes, hot ice cream, instant tripe, concrete balloons, bottomless carrier bags, disposable pound notes, and luminous saddles for nightmares, cold steam, and his greatest triumph, potato-flavoured crisps.
Bill Ryan at the Useless Inventions Convention. Now Charles Newstead at the prize-giving day of the Mime Artists Guild.
I'm very pleased to be here, Knight. But before I present your cups that you can take home and put on I would like to offer a little tentative advice. Oh, I hear you cry. Well, you may think it a bit but a nod is as good as if you really want to keep of your audience, go into radio and keep up the times.
Charles Newstead at the Mime Artists Guild, and finally to the Vincent Platt at the Teddy Bears Races.
Congratulations for what you have done. You've finished all alone. I'm glad to see somebody's won, because everyone's gone home. For every bear was entered today, but I'm sorry to say they've gone off with Yogi the boozer. If you knew what Rupert was up to in the woods today, he certainly deserves a prize. The little bears have whinged and whined, and apologies for Winnie the Pooh, who's done a whoopsie.
Vincent Platt at the Teddy Bears Races, which completes the personality test. And as always, those recordings that you have just watched have been taken out and shown to the public throughout Great Britain, and they've been asked to judge them for their wit, personality and presentation. Here then are the results of the Scantel Market Research poll. 40% went for Barry Davis, so he gets 10 points. 29% went for Charles Newstead, he gets 6 points. 21% chose Vincent Platt, 4 points for him, and 10% went for Bill Ryan, so he gets 2 points. And those, as always, go into the master scoreboard to give us a very close situation indeed now, because we've got a tie in second place with Barry Davis and Charles Newstead on 20 points, but the leader is Bill Ryan, just with 22 points. Very close indeed. On then to the observation test. Again, there's a clip of film here and then 3 questions each on it afterwards, followed by a test of identification. So contestants, would you now like to turn to the screen, get ready for this week's clip of film and concentrate very hard. It gets tougher all the time.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon. Chewie here tells me you're looking for passage to the Alderaan system.
Yes, indeed. If it's a fast ship.
Fast ship? You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
Should I have?
It's the ship that made the Kessel run in less than 12 parsecs. I've outrun Imperial starships. Not the local bulk cruisers, mind you. I'm talking about the big Carillion ships now. She's fast enough for you, old man. What's the cargo?
Only passengers. Myself, the boy, 2 droids, and no questions asked.
What is it, some kind of local trouble?
Let's just say we'd like to avoid any Imperial entanglements.
Looks like somebody's beginning to take an interest in your handiwork.
All right.
In, kid? Okay, stay sharp.
Here they come.
You're coming in too fast!
A clip there from Star Wars, not yet released, but due out around Christmas time. Coming up now, 3 questions each, 2 points for every right answer. Starting with you, Barry Davis, and first your either-or question. In the spaceship, who was the first person to put his headphones on? The captain or the boy?
The captain.
Correct, 2 points. Your visual question, what were the 2 objects on the table in the bar?
A glass and an ashtray.
Well, you're half right. It was a glass and a lamp, but you can have 1 point there for the glass. Your dialogue question, the spaceship made the Kessel Run in less than how many parsecs?
12.
Correct. Bill Ryan, your either-or question. Who shot down the first enemy spacecraft? The captain or the boy?
The boy.
No, it was the captain. No points there. How many guards approached the captain in the bar?
3.
No, it was 2. How many passengers did the old man say were to travel on the spaceship?
Well, him, the boy, and 2 drivers, was it? 4.
4 in all, you're saying. 4 is correct, 2 points there. Charles Newstead, what shape was the window in the enemy spacecraft? Octagonal or circular?
Circular.
It was octagonal, I'm afraid. How many attacking spacecraft were shot down?
4.
Correct. 2 points. Why were the man and the boy trying to escape? To avoid what?
Imprisonment.
No, imperial entanglement. Quite a mouthful. Vincent Platt, did the target display squares measure 5 by 5 or 6 by 6?
6 by 6.
It was 5 by 5, no points. We know that 4 spacecraft were shot down. How many of these did the boy hit?
3.
He hit 2, I'm afraid, no points. What were the first words the girl said in the spaceship?
No idea.
Here they come. No points at all for you. So much then for the questions. A possible 6 points for you there. Nobody has yet got 6 points in the Krypton Factor, but Barry Davis came very close indeed there with 5 points. But now we move on to our identification parade, and here each of you can get another 4 points. Now, you've done this one before, obviously, in the heats. You've seen all the other heats, so it's always going to be tougher in the semi-finals. We were tempted to put in a lineup of robots, but we resisted that. It's still tough, though, because here we've got a lineup of barmen. One of these was the barman in the film who turned and pointed out the meeting that was taking place in the bar to the soldiers. He turned and pointed out the meeting. Which one of those 9 was the barman who pointed out that meeting? He's there. You've got a few moments now to think about it before you decide which one. Now, as they line up for the last time, you are going to have to make your choice. Which one is the barman who pointed out the meeting to the soldiers? In a moment, I'll ask you to press the number on your indicator panels, which corresponds with the number of the barman here who pointed out the meeting to the soldiers. So are you ready? Will you press the button now? Well, you have all made your selections, so let us now check what you have selected. Barry Davis went for number 4. Could I ask barman 4 to step forward, please? Bill Ryan has gone for number 7. Would he step forward, please? Charles Newstead has also gone for number 7. And Vincent Platt has chosen number 5. Would he step forward, please? So which one was correct? We are now about to find out as I ask the barman in that film to make himself known. So, barman number 7, actor Ted Burnett, was spotted by just 2 contestants, Bill Ryan and Charles Newstead. They each get 4 more points, and the points total for the end of that round, Charles Newstead and Bill Ryan best with 6 points each, Barry Davis next with 5 points, Vincent Platt failed to score. Those points we put into our scoreboard with just 1 round to go, and a very close situation indeed. It couldn't be better. Barry Davis has 25 points, Charles Newstead in second place with 26, Bill Ryan leads with 28 points, and 2 go through to the final, don't forget. So very exciting indeed going into the last round. General knowledge, plenty of points available, questions all the way to the end of the programme, 1 point for every right answer, a point deducted for an incorrect answer. Those totals will now feed into the scoreboards behind our contestants so that we can watch the exciting climax to the programme. Here we go to the finish with the first question. What was prohibited by the 18th Amendment of the American, interrupted by Barry Davis?
Alcohol.
Correct, a point for you. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker. Interrupted by Barry Davis.
Ogden Nash.
Correct, another point. What did John Nash rebuild at Brighton? The answer is the Royal Pavilion. Who decreed a stately pleasure dome in Xanadu? Interrupted by Bill Ryan.
Kublai Khan.
Correct, a point to you. Which Venetian traveller wrote about his... Interrupted by Bill Ryan.
Marco Polo.
Correct. In polo, the sport, what name is given to the 7-minute periods of... Interrupted by Charles Newstead.
A chucker.
Correct. Chuck Berry had a hit in 1958 with Johnny B. What? Charles Newstead.
Good.
Johnny B. Good, correct. What precisely did Charles Goodyear invent? Barry Davis.
Vulcanized rubber.
Correct. Vulcan was the Roman god of what? Bill Ryan.
Fire.
Correct. Who was the Dutchman convicted of setting fire to the Reichstag in... Interrupted by Bill Ryan.
Sorry, pass.
Can you give me an answer?
No.
I'm afraid you lose a point there because you pressed the buzzer. It was van der Lubbe. What does the word lubber mean as in landlubber? Charles Newstead.
Novice.
Yes, we'll give you that point there. With panache means virtually the opposite of clumsy, but what originally was a panache? It was a plume of feathers. Who starred in the film Horse Feathers? Charles Newstead.
Will Hay.
No, the Marx Brothers. You lose a point. Where is Karl Marx buried? Bill Ryan.
Highgate Cemetery.
Correct, a point there. And with just under a minute to go, Barry Davis on 28 points, Charles Newstead on 28, Bill Ryan on 31. We go on. What was inscribed high over the gate of hell according to Dante? Abandon hope, all you who enter here. Next one. And yonder all before us lie, deserts of vast eternity. From which poem do these lines come? To His Coy Mistress by Andrew Marvell. Who was the mistress and lover of Dr. Crippen, with whom he ran away to America? Barry Davis? Quickly.
Neve.
Correct, Ethel Neve. Which city stands on the delta of the river Neva or Nieva? Bill Ryan.
Leningrad.
Correct. Which Len became General Secretary of the TUC? Barry Davis.
Len Murray.
Correct. Which county town stands at the head of Murray Firth? Charles Newstead.
Cromarty.
No, you lose a point. It was Inverness, and that's the buzzer for the end of this semi-final. And so the winner of our second semi-final with a Krypton Factor of 32 is Bill Ryan. He goes through to our final, and joining him in that final, the man who came second, Barry Davis, who just pipped Charles Newstead in that last round. He had a Krypton Factor of 30. So, our congratulations to Bill Ryan and Barry Davis. They go through to the Krypton Factor final of 1977 next week, where they join Andrew Cox and Harry Evans. Promises to be very exciting. Join us next Wednesday. Good night.